next game will be BrutalFissure versus AICO. Last set of the evening for MLL Week 2. Your predictions, boys?
AICO, I'm sorry. I have my heart in the right place when it comes to BrutalFissure, but when it comes down to it, I do believe they're still very new, and AICO has been around for such a long time that I don't really believe that BrutalFissure can take it home, because they're still getting the do's and don'ts of being competitive in a team, and it takes time, but still they're doing very well, all things considered.
And going by what you said there, it's a new team. We're seeing, AICO we're billing as the underdogs, the dark horses of this tournament, tournament league, and BrutalFissure being the new team. I have to value. I mean, it's the fact that they're a new team, and they still have a lot to learn, as Wolfie pointed out. And I think AICO, even though in their game last week against ID, they did make some mistakes, and ID were really quite clean on punishing those mistakes. I don't think we're going to see the same level for BrutalFissure. So AICO get my vote as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go with AICO as well. Simple fact, they're more synergized. They've got more to their team than BrutalFissure do. Sadly, I've got to say AICO 2-0.
Yeah, that's also around my predictions. But this is what I hope for, a 1-1. That's what I hope for. And that's the best I can hope for, considering how new this team is on the block. My own team will definitely get better in time, but this is only week 2, and they still have a lot of hard work to do.
Okay. BrutalFissure and AICO. ECO or AICO?
AICO.
I say AICO.
Spawn of AICO. Yeah.
That's Spawn of AICO. Okay, AICO. So we're going to be going over the map drafts and bans, and of course the draft of the games now. Here we go.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Jay. But as we go into the map drafts here, we have some very interesting choices here, as it's the exact same bans of another set. And for what reason that is, I have no idea why, but it happened.
Is it the same?
It is the same bans as I think it was the first set. Let me just quickly take a look, because I want to make sure, because I saw the 2 same bans in another matchup. Let me look.
Your pinned message about this matchup is telling me a bit of a porky.
LE versus Crisis, the matchup we just got, had the same bans. So,
but I'm going to point out that the message that you sent with the matchups which we use for obviously spectators and match IDs is saying some complete different, a different story.
I think you are very confused.
AICO vs BrutalFissure, week 2, map 1, map draft, ban 1, Bright Marsh, ban 2, Stone Keep, pick 1, Jack Falls, pick 2, Serpent Beach.
Okay, that is a mistake on my end, but what you see on the graphics is the correct one. It is the correct draft. Yes.
Okay.
Then I've written it wrong in I've written bans as picks and picks as bans, or did completely
Serpent Beach, Jack Falls, so
yes.
Not a thing.
Nonetheless,
if this is correct, then we'll go off this then. Perfect.
Yes.
So exactly the same as what we've just seen. Bright Marsh game 1 and Stone Keep game 2.
And then
there were drafts.
okay, you were right. It is the bans being the picks and picks being the bans. I'm so good at this. Sorry, I am very good at this, and I'm very, very professional. But we will actually go into draft number 1 that will be on Jaguar Falls.
Pick 1, Jaguar Falls. Yep.
Yes.
We're back. We're actually casting a game on Jack Falls. I don't believe it.
This is why you shouldn't give me too many objectives at once. I can't finish them without being confused halfway through.
No, don't worry. Yes. It's fine. It's our final series of the day. We're getting tired, but we're gonna power on through. So let's go through these drafts, shall we? I will start with AICO. So they have banned Torvald and Androxus. They will pick the Fernando, Willow, Inara, Maldumba, and Cassie.
Bam, out on the field. While BrutalFissure has gone through the bans of Makoa and Khan, while picking Leon, Drogos, Furia, Barrick, and Ash. As I said before, my predictions are that I will get a 1-1. So I do think this first one will go in favor of AICO, as their composition is just...
I was going to ask that. Which is the game that's going to go in favor of the guys in blue? So, I mean, looking at these drafts, I do like BrutalFissure's draft. I do like it. It's not a bad draft. It's a very jack of all trades composition. Like, it's a composition I like to call where you can pretty much run it on pretty much any map, and if you play it well, it's going to do well for you.
Are you going to do the same prediction as Ice Mines is a map where if you win the first point fight, you win the point?
Here's the thing, right? Was I wrong?
It's
also,
true, but still.
Also, I will address this now. If you ask me a question where the answer is glaringly obvious, you're getting a glaringly obvious answer. That's just how it works.
Well, it's fine.
Anyway.
It's fine. I love your predictions and your analysis, so don't worry. It's a little bit of a mishap here and there, but we will actually go into game number 1 very soon, as we are going to sync up for game number 1 between AICO and BrutalFissure. My name is WolfieGG, our co-caster is The Real TJ DJ, and our host is TGJ. You're watching the Magistrates Legacy League week number 2. Fissure. Greetings, everybody, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between for the last set of Week 2 in the Magistrates Legacy League. It is AICO Esports versus BrutalFissure. Let's go through to the rosters. TJ, get us through over on the side of AICO.
On the side of AICO, we have Exo Pug playing the Scorch, Fernando, Easy Nebro playing the Nightshade Willow, Versa on the Treacherous Crown Nara, searching for ID, Spirits Chosen Maldumba, and Valza playing the Impulse Cassie.
On the side of BrutalFissure, we have Dutch Knight playing the Death and Taxes, Leon, Neptune the Blue, Combustible, Drogos, Fixod on the Solar Blessing Furia, Aldumming on Tinkerin Berg, and Paranormal Pharaoh on Rally here, Ash. And the fight is already beginning over on the right side.
Wolfie, just before we get into casting, I'm afraid I've just been hit with the mother of all error messages. You're flying solo for this one, my friend. I'm so sorry.
Well, you pressed the difficult button that is known as the no-no button. But we see Dutch Knight going down here.
I profusely apologize.
It doesn't matter, it's very professional of you, but there's nothing we can do about it other than going with the set. AICO having 96% on the payload. That's definitely going to be captured by them without much of contest here happening for BrutalFissure. Right now, BrutalFissure are in the backline. They're already at their base, just standing there, which is a bit of a mistake here, because they're allowing AICO Esports to just keep on pushing forward, and that is not a good situation for them at all. Exopuck covering the left side as if it's his own territory. Paranormal and Dutch very low.
Actually, because the stream is really nicely delayed, as Neptune the Blue and Dutch Knight are both going to fall to the double kill by Versa, you've delayed it perfectly, Wolfie. I'll just cast off the stream because it's only about 1 second behind.
Awesome.
I love it. So Paranormal Pharaoh is going to drop to Vizslar's Cassie, and AICO have pushed the point all the way through here. Still 1 minute 37 on the clock. Versa finally falls to Neptune the Blue's Drogos.
That is a really good comeback kill here for Neptune. He's definitely holding back the roster of AICO, giving a little bit of breathing room for his roster, his team, his squad. But it doesn't look to be much of an advantage, because the whole side of AICO are just moving on as one unit. This is the military walk happening right here.
There seems to be a lot on the shoulders of Neptune the Blue, but him getting picked off, AICO are like, okay, we're going. So Irvin Crash is going to be used onto the backline, but it's responded in kind with a trade kill of a Paranormal Pharaoh, getting the kill onto Inara and trading his own life by Vizsla. Neptune finds himself very low, having to back off here. He wants to stick on the high ground, but he's just getting picked on by the Cassie and the Willow. Yeah, so does lose out to Vizsla, but so far BrutalFissure are holding on. But a double kill coming through here to AICO. Those ceilings doing a lot of damage onto the front lines. Faith Flight has been activated. Fake 2 goes down. Neptune goes down. Just trying to get a trade kill onto Isnabra. And AICO continue the push.
That is definitely going to be a conversion here for AICO. Having a lot of teamwork happening here. Getting a hold onto 3 targets at once. Even with the spawn advantage in their favor. BrutalFissure simply couldn't defend during overtime, and now AICO will be ahead 2-0. What? Yeah, you're a little bit late, TJ, on your casting, but it is it's just fine because we are getting the coverage we need, and this is going to be a really interesting second round to see if BrutalFissure can take this back.
Yeah, and there are some big ultimates available for BrutalFissure. You have the Dominance, Enlightenment, so Leon is able to just be a little bit more aggressive and having that get out of jail free card for Dutch Knight there. And then there is also the Inflame as well, so we have to go for when BrutalFissure want to pull the trigger. Exopub is going to push forward into the dark side, and Paranormal Pharaoh is going to block out that Scorched Fireball. That would have been vile if it had connected. But so Dominance is used, and there goes Exopub off the map, knocked away by a kinetic burst, and BrutalFissure are able to push up.
Finally on the point, BrutalFissure can get a little bit of momentum going. Aldami placing some real nice turrets onto the fray to hold Versa back. Neptune also, together with Dutch, are dealing a lot of essential damage. Exopuck is very low and he goes down. Dutch Knight hitting those auto shots as he needs to. And now Versa as well has to go down. And that might actually be a capture for BrutalFissure.
Yeah, very, very back and forth here. Enlightenment still not used. Dragon Punch is still available, but of course Fernando has his Immortal available to counteract that as well. But searching for ID is going to drop, and as you said, it is a successful capture for BrutalFissure. Dragon Punch will not connect. The Immortal is popped to counter it. But that is an okay trade, if you ask me.
It's definitely something that works in their favor, and now we have BrutalFissure capturing a point and actually pushing onward towards the magical tale of converting. Let's hope that this will be a tale that will be mentioned for a long time, as Versa is getting harassed by Aldami, placing some very good tinkering shots in the backline, while Farah and Dutch Knight are both pushing over on the right with Neptune for support.
BrutalFissure pushing up. We're past that halfway point, having 1 minute 40. Not as quick as the push from AICO, but still relatively speedy. But BrutalFissure are going to lose their 2 damage dealers, Isnabra and Vizsla, getting a kill onto the Drogos and the Leon, respectively. And BrutalFissure just going to back off here. AICO pushing forward, wanting to get toward that halfway point on the map, around that Jaguar, fortify it up real nice. Make BrutalFissure have the work to get towards that point, but 4 ultimates are available to them.
Neptune dealing some good fire spit damage here, but the impasse is blocking off the projectile. He won't be able to push anyone today. Trying to get up in the air and deal some essential damage, but he gets low. He has to go back. There's only Fake Shot to heal him up, and in the vicinity of the spawn of AICO, they get a hold on to Dutch Knight.
Yeah, BrutalFissure they're constantly finding themselves in a 4v5 situations. It's someone getting picked off but at the moment it's not being punished as effectively as it could be. AICO do get the kill, they do push them off. Dragon's Fury is going to come through, getting the kill to Vizsla, who I believe dodge rolled into that and took the bullet for his front line. Now that is a damage player we can all get behind on as frontline players.
With 4 seconds left on the payload push, BrutalFissure might actually have a chance of converting, but nonetheless, AICO are saying no to that opportunity as they get a 2, make that 3, make that 4, and well, they get a 2 for 2 and defend successfully.
It remains at 4 there. Whew. 3-1 in favor of AICO. BrutalFissure have the combat mechanic available to them once again, so they proved they could do it before. Can they do it again and actually win this point?
20 seconds left, and if we look at the stats going through here, it does look to be all over the place with searching for ID. He has 01 and 18 going forward for him. He is really supporting his squad, while Versa and Exopuck are both really healthy, have taken a lot of damage, but has been saved every single time by some very, very essential gourds. And now we're gonna see how they will perform here on the point, as they will continue going to the left from the side of AICO. We have Paranormal Pharaoh getting healed with some Solar Blessing Pyres. Exopuck together with searching for ID and Volta trying to get a hold onto him, and they do just as well. Seismic Crest placed onto the point, and this is where they have the opportunity to push on the side of AICO.
That Inflame is still on cooldown, so does beg the question of when that trigger will be pulled. But AICO are just set up near perfectly here. BrutalFissure unable to get towards the point. Ash trying to shoulder bash through, but Exopuck is going to stop him. 93, 96. Victory as it comes up on my screen. An unorthodox cast, but I hope we sort of made it work. But yes, it is victory to AICO.
I thought it wasn't too bad considering.
Yeah, again, I'm so sorry for that happening.
That's fine. So, AICO take the win, 4-1, but not as one-sided as we thought it was going to be. BrutalFissure grabbing that point, failed to push, then it went to 3-1, and final point goes to AICO. So, I've done it again. AICO.
Yeah.
AICO.
Yeah.
Did I say it
Yeah.
right? AICO. Yeah.
AICO, yeah.
Jay butchering names of teams since 2014. Absolutely awesome. Love it. So, I'm confused about what Wesley was doing on the Ash.
Well,
it felt really awkward to watch.
Well,
on the side of BrutalFissure.
It's Wesley, okay? He wants to be the front line that makes the plays happen. It just didn't happen due to the amount of pressure from AICO. He was actually, his decision-making wasn't wrong. It was the execution of his thought process that were wrongfully... let's just say that the order of the actions were wrongfully made, while the decision-making was correct. It was just getting the right targets, and they didn't. But I do believe this is a much better set than their last set towards against Shazoo in week 1. This is a world in difference already, because I actually saw them play much more aggressively and not stay in the backline and stay in the base every time they got destroyed.
Wuffy totally steals my show right now, ladies and gents. Exactly what I was about to say. Wuffy, how dare you? So let me follow up on that. And we saw BrutalFissure being a lot more aggressive. They weren't scared to fight. They had that more cohesion. There was a little bit more synergy there. You know, they had the picks that could allow them to be that a little bit more aggressive. And those are the things I want to keep seeing coming out of BrutalFissure as the weeks go on. Now, we are approaching week 3 next week, which is the midway point, right? So all the teams that have been taking losses, this is their chance. This is where they crawl back. And, of course, those top 4 teams, which, quite frankly, isn't set in stone. Every team, you know, it's open. It's still open. Anybody could win.